mold. All right, so we're going with the very basic hot chocolate bomb today. And I'm gonna pop my chocolate in the microwave for just a little bit longer. All right, so we're going with the very basic hot chocolate bomb. We're just using our regular large sphere mold. I do like to use the small one if I'm making a smaller bomb, but I figured let's go with it today. Okay, and I'm gonna grab my chocolate. And like I've mentioned before, this is the dark chocolate Ghirardelli melting wafers. That's my favorite one to use for hot chocolate bombs. Okay, and it's nice and melted, but I'm gonna set that to the side for right now. And we're gonna take some edible gold glitter dust, and then we're going to take a food brush, and we're actually gonna brush our mold. Just make sure the entire thing gets coated. Nice, pretty, shiny. Okay, now everything looks like it's coated, we can start doing another one. Because obviously we want our top and bottom to both be nice and shiny. Just love how pretty this is. It's being really nice and generous with this gold because I want it to coat the entire thing completely. Just like that. Okay, that looks good. And we're gonna take some of our dark chocolate melting wafers and we're just gonna pour it right into our wells. Just like this. You can add a little bit extra because we're gonna make sure that we remove some of that excess so it's a nice, not too thick shell. Okay, but then we want to tap it, tap out those bubbles, try and get those away. And then we can either start swirling because of the dust. I don't necessarily recommend doing the scooping that I usually do for hot chocolate bombs. So we're just gonna tilt it and make sure to coat the wells completely by letting it just flow around. And also try to make sure this top one gets coated too at the same time. That one looks pretty much coated. Let's try and finish this one up. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Can't believe it's already New Year's Day this weekend for 2023. That is crazy. Okay. And then what we're gonna do next is, oops. Okay, so we're gonna take part of our parchment paper that we're working on. I'm gonna just kind of scooch it over a little bit and use over here. Oops. And we're going to tip it over and just shake out that excess. But first I wanna make sure that we tap, 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 make sure that those bubbles really are gone. Okay, don't want any little holes or any little stuff like that in our final shell. Okay, you can see some bubbles kind of rose to the surface there. Just a little bit more of that, making sure it's all good to go. And then you can leave it as is, but the top is really, really thick. So with this, I'm going to flip it upside down and then shake, shake, shake. Just trying to get that excess chocolate out. Like that, maybe shake. Oh, there's a little bubble right there. Tap, 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 tap. Just gonna make sure it's tapping and shaking. Okay, and then we're gonna take an offset spatula. I'll try and reposition so you can see better. Offset spatula, and we're going to just scrape off this excess. It'll make it a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier later. Just like that, so it's nice and smooth. Fix that part too. And we're good. We're gonna pop this in the freezer for just a few minutes. Let me stick this. I usually like to pop it on like a small little, there you go. Here, I'll show you. I have these cool little, I think they're called quarter-size sheet trays or something like that. So it's like a baking tray, but it's a smaller one, and it's like the perfect size for a lot of hot chocolate bomb molds. So just about this big. And we're just popping it on here so it's a nice flat surface, and then we're gonna stick it in the freezer. Okay. And in the meantime, while that is freezing, I've already started some numbers, and we're just gonna pop them out. Again, removing chocolate stuff, I like to, when it's in a silicone mold, I try my best to kind of gently remove it from the sides first, so it's less likely to break. Come on, two, you can do it. There we go. And just like that. I see that one got a little air bubble stuck in there, but it's gonna work out, it's still fine. I just didn't tap it enough, I guess. Come on, there we go. There's our 3, and then our 0. Just like that. Okay, we can set this to the side. I always make extras if I can, just in case one of them breaks. Okay. So because we have a gold base, usually I might put some edible gold paint on this, but I'm kind of thinking I'm either gonna do silver and or just stick it on there and then spray the entire bomb with silver after it's all put together. I'm leaning more towards that. But while the other thing sets, which should be pretty quick, I also have some fun kind of like these chunky sugar sprinkles, both gold and silver. Obviously, the classic colors of New Year's are gold, silver, and black. I also have some of these little black nonpareils. And I'm not sure if I'm going to stick them on there, but I have these little gold stars too. Okay. And then while that sets, I'm going to get some stuff set up for actually assembling the hot chocolate bombs. I have these, here, I'll lift you up for a sec. I have these freeze-dried little marshmallow bits. So you can either stick the regular mini marshmallows in there, but I think these are kind of fun to add to hot chocolate bombs sometimes. So I found these on Amazon. This is a 1 pound bag. So I figured I'm making a bunch of stuff with it, so. Okay, and then I'm also using just kind of classic Swiss Miss. I like to empty some packets and put it in a container and then just use a tablespoon to measure it out from there. It makes it easier for me. Because sometimes it seems like with the chocolate on the outside of the shell, like the actual shell itself, it adds quite a bit of chocolate flavor, so I don't necessarily like to add the entire chocolate packet. Get my tablespoon ready to go. Okay, and then I'm scraping off this excess chocolate. Hello, how are you? It's evening where you are. It's still actually morning for me over here. And it's a nice stormy day, so it's a perfect day for hot chocolate bombs. Okay, let's check on our shells. They set very quickly. Yeah. Okay. Here are our shells. They set really lovely, nice and smooth. And next we are going to add another layer of chocolate. So make sure our chocolate is nice and melted. Maybe pop it in there for like 15 seconds just to make sure that it's not going to set too quickly when we're working with it. Okay. So we're going to add our second layer. And usually I focus on just the sides, but because I did the shaking version this time, instead of letting it kind of pool at the bottom, I'm going to make sure it coats the entire thing. Pardon while I have a sip of my coffee. Okay. Okay, chocolate is nice and melted. Oh, I saw a thing pop up. There we are. Oh, I forgot over in Czech Republic it's evening. Well, I hope you're having a good evening. Thank you for joining. How long do you put them in the freezer? So I just put them in until it sets. On average, that could be anywhere between, like 5-ish minutes or so. You just want to check it kind of like, you can kind of see a difference, like the look of melted chocolate versus the set chocolate. But you can also just poke it, and if nothing comes off, you're good. So, but it should take no more than 5 minutes on average with the freezer. Okay, now we're adding our next little bit of chocolate here, but we do have to work a little bit faster with this one because with this one, it's cold and it's going to set faster than our first layer. So we're gonna add it in. And with this one, it's gonna be the inside of the hot chocolate bomb. You're not gonna see it. It's not gonna be in the final product. So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfectly smooth and pretty. So with this one, I'm gonna brush up the sides and then we're gonna shake it again. Okay, it's that quick. And then we're gonna do our little flippy-do over here. Shake, 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 shake to get that excess chocolate out. Okay, that should be good. And then take our offset spatula again. I forgot to clean it off when I used it the first time, so I'm cleaning off really quick. Okay, and then quickly we're going to scrape away this excess just to keep it nice and clean. And if you're not fast enough, if it sets too quickly, don't worry about it. You can still break it off afterward. It just kind of keeping it clean at the same time it sometimes makes the process a little bit easier. But you don't have to worry. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna pop this in the freezer one more time. You can see that I didn't completely shake it out because there's a little bit of pooling over here. Again, I kind of like that because it helps to strengthen the top, especially when you're popping it out of the mold. So we're just gonna pop this back into our freezer for another, it should only take like a couple minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, let's say. Okay. And in the meantime, make sure it's loaded. Okay, so when we pop them out of the molds, as you'll see in a minute, usually if you want to use like a hot plate or a hot pan, something that's been, heated in some way. My light decided to pop up. Stay. Okay. So, hello, I hope you're having a good day. So when we have our hot plate, hot pan, whatever, I'm actually using a heat safe plate. It's to help kind of slightly melt the little rim of our hot chocolate bomb and be able to easily stick it on without having to add a bunch of chocolate. Sometimes people actually like to add extra chocolate and then roll it in sprinkles. I personally don't like that. I feel like it highlights the seam too much, but you do you. Let's take this away for a sec. Okay. How's the weather where everybody is? Let's see if I missed any chat stuff too. Okay, no, we're good on that. But yeah, how's the weather? It's some nice, really rainy days over here, which we definitely need because I'm in California. What do you for do? Oh, thank you, Michelle. I'm so glad that you're able to join today. Yes, I haven't done as many hot chocolate bombs this year, and I love hot chocolate bombs. They're a lot of fun. I like to kind of come up with new fun little designs and stuff. But this year just, I don't know, 2020 flew by like crazy. Okay. Our hot chocolate bombs actually, our shells seem like they are already set. As I mentioned, it's nice and quick. Okay, let's set this. Okay. Oh, wait. I saw something there and it went away. That's what I don't like about being on my phone with the chat. Weather is -38. Oh my gosh, are you okay? Oh, that's crazy. I hope you're staying safe and staying warm. For us, it definitely doesn't get that cold. It's, I think, especially when it's raining, it's a little bit warmer, but it's a lot of, we have like a flood warning, I think, with how much rain there is this weekend. Okay, so now we're gently trying to just carefully separate the sides. Just like that. So I feel like once you get that little side separated, it's a lot easier to pop it out instead of just going straight for it because you could actually break the shell. Okay, all of our sides are separated. I'm going to just gently press up and remove. And there's our lovely little gold half. We had last like -15, but no. Oh my gosh, that is so strange. I hope you're staying safe, because I can't even imagine. The coldest it gets for us here is like, I don't know, maybe in the high 20s at a rare point in winter. Because I'm in like a spot where it's kind of like, it does get cold, but it doesn't get too cold. Like I'm not in Tahoe where it snows. Same thing over here, gently pressing on the side. Once it's all separated, again, we're just very gently rolling it out. Just like that. Okay, then we can set our mold to the side. You can make some more. Very easy. I do usually clean them in between though, just to make sure there's no little pieces that got left behind. But now we're going to kind of even out. So you can see it's not perfect. There's a tiny little bit of stuff around, little tiny indents. So I'm just going to show you how to do the version with the plate. So usually you might do like a hot plate with like a pan on top of it or something like that, but this is the way I like to do it, with a heat safe plate and my kitchen torch, because for me that is easier. Oops, let's put it on higher heat. Just get it nice and hot, and then very gently and quickly just twist. Twist, 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 and take it away. And now it's really nice and smooth. And I like to put it upside down on parchment, because then it can set with like a little flat bottom. Same thing, twist, twist, twist. And we're smooth. Just like that. And if you're doing a whole bunch of them, then you're gonna have to reheat the plates. And I like to wipe down the chocolate to make sure it doesn't get that kind of like burnt chocolate thing going on. So just wipe it down ever so often. Okay, let's let that chill for just like a minute. Luckily during winter, hot chocolate bombs do set fairly quick. Which was I going to grab? Okay, so we're getting set up to actually fill our hot chocolate bomb. And I don't know if I want to put any peppermint here. I feel like I want to keep it relatively plain maybe today. But you can definitely add a whole variety of stuff. So I'm for sure always going to add my Swiss Miss hot chocolate, and also the dehydrated marshmallow bits I showed you a little bit ago. And those are vanilla flavored. They're nice and plain, but they're just kind of fun. They're like little pops of little marshmallows in there. With this one, especially because it's New Year's, it would be really fun to add those, excuse me. Even in the winter, annoyingly, I have a little bit of those like allergy kind of things with my throat. Okay, that's better. So, what are they saying? Oh, if you've seen my first ever hot chocolate bomb video I put up in 2020, I added some culinary crystals, and you don't see anything visually, but you can hear it because it does like that popping. The culinary crystals are like the carbonated little things that they basically are like unflavored Pop Rocks. And so you can add them into your hot chocolate bomb and get a very auditory experience. Again, it's not visual. I had someone who was a little bit annoyed about that, but it's auditory. You can definitely hear it popping, especially depending on the amount that you add. But it's kind of something fun to add in there as a little surprise. Okay, that should be set. Oh, wait, before we move on, let me catch up on. Okay, I'm not going outside. I do not blame you for not wanting to go outside with that kind of weather. Only 12 to 15 inches of snow. Yeah, I actually really would like to go to the snow, because I've never been in snow deeper than like, I don't know, maybe half an inch. It was kind of sad that it was like the littlest bit that I was very excited about, but little torch like that. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. You're so sweet. I'm so glad you're here for the live as well. And Natalie, how would you decide how much cocoa powder to put in? Good question. So with the hot chocolate bomb size that we're doing right here, this is what I call the larger size, and then I do have a smaller one that I do. For these ones, I usually do, it's been a while since I've made a regular hot chocolate bomb. Hold on. Okay, I think for the small ones, I just do 1 tablespoon. And then I believe for these ones, I do 2 tablespoons. So it actually, they don't need to be super precise measurements, but unless you're doing it for like a business, you definitely want to measure it out. But I think for the large ones, I do 2 tablespoons. And then when everything's put together, when you actually enjoy the hot chocolate bomb, it's bigger. So I recommend about 12 to 16 ounces of liquid, whereas the smaller ones are like a 6 to 8 ounce cup. So it definitely will affect your, like how much hot chocolate you're having for the size that you're doing. Okay. Oh wait, I think I saw something pop up and go away. Hold on. Love the crystals, yes. Are these, can you, oh, you're welcome. Michelle, can you explain what you mean by, are these 70? I'm not sure what you mean. But I will answer your question as soon as, if you can clarify that. In the meantime, we're going to start to fill our bombs. Or our bomb, we're only making the one today. So we're taking a 70 millimeter. Oh, good question. I actually don't know that off the top of my head. But if you go to my page and you look at the hot chocolate bomb, I think I have it pinned probably as one of my top videos. The hot chocolate bomb basic tutorial that I made in 2020, I actually talked specifically about the mold. Is there a possibility to watch this live to go to work? Yes, I always make these public after we're done with the live, so you will be able to watch this later. And thank you so much for joining. But in terms of size, I'm not sure off the top of my head about the 70 millimeter. I think I would have to go and look, but I do tag the mold in my hot chocolate bomb video. So, and then I can also, yeah, I can go look at that later and we can specify. I have 60, oh wait, 50, 60, 70. Ah, I don't like how it tries to disappear while I'm reading. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. You're so sweet. Okay. So now we're going to, thank you very much. We're gonna add our hot chocolate powder here. I actually like to pick which one is gonna be the top and which one's the bottom. I think like this one for the top. So we're gonna fill this one. We're gonna do 1 and 2 tablespoons. Just like this. And then this is where you can add your culinary crystals, or if you want peppermints, little peppermint pieces, all of that good stuff. But as I mentioned, I'm not going to add that today, but I am going to add these cute little marshmallow bits. Pardon me. Okay. And with these, you can either measure them out or just be very, very generous with them. Just add as much as you can possibly pack. Oops. Couple little strays here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. There's probably a couple tablespoons of the marshmallow bits. Okay. And then this is where we can either just gently melt this a little bit and stick it on top immediately. Or sometimes you can, like with a food brush, I'll add a little bit of chocolate right around the outside and then kind of try to like hopefully scrape it off. But I think I'm gonna do the melting version because of this gold shell. It's not gonna look the same with the chocolate on the, you know, the little seal part. So let's try that. Again, we're just very gently trying to melt this. Not too much, and we want to stick it on like right away. And then kind of push it together. I want to really make sure it's nice and sealed. And it's a little more difficult because it is gold to be able to add, you know, a little bit of chocolate around the seam, whereas the traditional ones you can add that and not make it as, you know, visible. But yeah, I think I still might want to add a tiny bit of chocolate. But if I need to, I can also add a little bit of gold. Let's grab a food brush, a little one. We don't need one very big. I think this one looks like it's going to be good. Because what I like to make sure is that I can kind of see that it's not perfectly sealed. And my concern is that if I start, oh, yep, like that. So that was not sealed well enough at all. So let's pick this stuff up and pop it back inside. So that's why I'm not a fan of that method, because if you don't melt it enough, it's not going to stick. But if you melt it too much, this size is actually going to be too small for it to properly line up. So you just kind of play around with it and see what works for you. Let's scrape up this chocolate back here. What's cool about hot chocolate bombs is that even though it popped open, it still looks good. We can easily refill this. We can just brush off that hot chocolate powder. Okay. Scoot you back for a sec. And I'm gonna refill, I'm gonna refill that little part of hot chocolate bomb. I think that was my top. Okay. Scoop it up just like this. Oh, marshmallow's trying to run away from me. Okay. I'm just gonna pour it into our hot chocolate bomb. Very carefully. Okay. And our hot chocolate bomb is filled again. Clean this up because it looks quite weird. There we go, that looks a little bit better. Okay. And if you want to, you can even just lightly take off any kind of little powder that got stuck to the top and bottom. Okay, then we're gonna do the usual way that I seal these up, which is taking a little bit of chocolate and going around the rim. I want to make sure I haven't missed any questions. Are we still good? We are still good. Okay. Moving on. So gotta work a little bit quick. Oops. Hot chocolate powder doesn't want it to stick. And just so people know, if you are making hot chocolate bombs in terms of a business, I don't know that side of stuff. You might have to, you probably have to use food gloves. This is just for me, that I'm at home. So I don't always use food gloves because a lot of time it's for me and or my family. And I just brush a little bit of chocolate on. Again, working quickly because this will set fast. Oops, get off. Yeah. Kind of want to go on like the inside of the rim a little bit. And because I do like to give these sometimes as gifts or something, that's why I always do the little shake test to make sure, is there any stuff coming out, or do I need to add a little bit of extra chocolate to seal it up? So I want to make sure if I do gift it to someone that it's not going to get all messy in the container before I can give it to them. Or even when they're getting it out themselves to enjoy, I don't want it to get all messy. Okay, I've got a little base down. I'm going to quickly put this on top. I want to make sure it's nice and lined up. And usually I use, like I said, I have food gloves on, not all the time, but sometimes. But I kind of like to make sure it's all nice and even. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my dog is in the next room. I can hear her snoring away. She's having quite the day. Okay. I can feel it's already kind of set up a little bit, and then we look along this seam to see, is there any stuff we need to add? Can also do the little, see if anything comes out. I kind of call it the shake test. Just to see, is there any powder coming out anywhere? Are our little seams all good to go? I'm not seeing any powder come out. We're looking pretty good. And then just to make sure that that seam looks good still, kind of a little bit extra gold. Just like that. I think this was gonna be my top. Okay. And then if you do touch it too much, you can see that some of the gold is coming off. So if you want to brush a little extra on, we're actually gonna do a drizzle to finish this off. So let's take some of our chocolate, which again, it's a cold day, so it will kind of set a little faster. I'm gonna pop this in the microwave again for another 15 seconds or so. Okay, and then I'm gonna get all my stuff out that I need for my toppers. I showed them off earlier, some sprinkles and the number, or the numbers for 2023. Okay, and then I have a piping bag right here, so I'm going to add some of the chocolate to the piping bag. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure that I have all my sprinkles ready to go so that I can add them before everything sets. And again, I have a mix of some silver kind of chunky sugar, some gold chunky sugar, some black nonpareils, Again, I don't know if you guys could hear, I'm just kind of cracking up about my dog. She had a bath last night, so usually that exhausts her for a little while. All the excitement. Okay. Adding our chocolates. Okay, we don't need a ton because we're only doing a drizzle for one bomb right now, so we do not need much at all. And you could go with, you know, a white drizzle, a black drizzle, of candy melts or the dark chocolate melting wafers or vanilla melting wafers, all that kind of stuff. I'm going with just the dark chocolates because then I want the sprinkles to really pop on top of it. Okay. And then, so I cut, it's gonna try and come through, but I cut the tip, if you can see it, just a little bit, not too much. I don't want it too small to where it's not gonna come out, but not too big where it's gonna be really chunky looking. Speaking of which, you don't want to set straight. To fix that, you can either pop it into a cupcake liner so it'll stay, or I have these little like prep bowls, these tiny little prep bowls, and I'll just stick it in here so it stays. Make sure it's right like that. Oh my gosh. My dog is cracking me up. Okay. So again, we're going to work quickly and we're not going to drizzle slowly. We're going to go nice and fast because that'll result in kind of like thinner little quick lines. So ready? Make sure it's nice and covered just like that, and then start adding our sprinkles. Adding some of our silver here. Definitely want to get some black on here because it is a classic New Year's color. And let's also add some of that gold. Come on, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to add on our 2023. We're just gonna add a little dot of candy melts to the top. I'm gonna stick them right on top here. I want to space them kind of evenly. Okay, hope that is gonna get them where I want them to be. We're just trying to space them nice and evenly around. Make sure nice pressed in there so they'll stay. Just like that. And then I have this edible glitter spray that's silver that we're just gonna spritz over the entire thing. kind of generous over the numbers. Just like that. Ooh. And let's let that set for just a sec. I'm gonna pipe my chocolate back into my bowl. Because you can let it stay in the, sorry, I had like a little glitter fleck fly right by me. You can let it stay in the piping bag and then just let it harden and then pop it out later, but sometimes I like to just pipe it back in while it's still warm to make it a little bit easier. Okay. And this should be set by now. Double check if you guys have any other questions I've missed. That's so cute. Oh, thank you so much. And let's make sure you guys can see it. Yeah, I'm just gonna move this because it'll be easier. And you can scrape this off and reuse this for, I don't know, some bark or something like that. I always like to try to make sure I'm reusing whatever I have. I can shake off little excess sprinkles that didn't fully attach like that. And here's our 2023 hot chocolate bomb. I cannot believe it's already here this weekend. But I hope you guys like it. Would you guys like to see more hot chocolate bombs in 2023? I wanted to make some more this year, but like I said, the year just kind of got away from me. But if that is something that you guys would be interested in seeing more of, definitely let me know, especially with all the shorts that I'm making. I like to switch up what content I am working on. Yes, okay. I hear you loud and clear, Michelle. Okay. But yeah, this is our hot chocolate bomb for today. And with hot chocolate bombs, you can, like I said, this is a bigger one. So with this one, I would use about 12 to 16 ounces of whatever liquid. You don't have to only use milk. You can use, like for me, I actually have been preferring lately coffee with it because it makes sure it's not too sweet. And actually you don't have to add any creamer or any sugar to the coffee because this is perfect. It just literally this and melt it with some coffee. So that's another option to make it into a mocha. And also, if you want to make a mocha bomb, you can actually add instant espresso into this. So, but yeah, that's our hot chocolate bomb for today. Make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle, for being here. I'm so happy that you're able to check it out and enjoy the live today. And if there's no other questions, that's all we got for today. I can't believe it's already the end of 2022. This year it flew by, but I will make sure to incorporate more hot chocolate bombs next year. And actually probably while it's still cold, so expect some in the next few months. I'm just closing up my sprinkles so I don't accidentally spill them. Okay, I don't think I saw anything else come in the chat. Okay. Yeah, that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for being here and for supporting me on my channel. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Yeah, a lot more to come in 2023. And thanks again. I hope you guys have a great weekend and a very safe and happy new year. And I'll see you in 2023. Bye.